If I can first start with Facebook and 10 Good Memories. And I'd like to thank Cheryl Munson and the own staff for introducing 10 Good Memories. If it wasn't for 10 Good Memories, I don't think we'd be here tonight. So thank you for those ladies. If I could please welcome some special guests, of course. Thank you, Adrian. Testing, 1, 2. Testing. 2, 1, 2. Hello. That sounds good. Hello. McCloskey. Oh. You still can't hear me? Sorry, Brian, can you hear me? That's all right. Keep talking about yourself. I've got nothing to say, mate. Just keep talking. It's fine. But I have special guests just in front of the screen here, and I must welcome our VIPs all the way from the United States. We have Dana Mill and Mackie, and there's Steve at the bar. What a good place to be, Steve. I mean, they travelled 30 hours the other day to...
Doreen has written this out. I'll try to explain what it's all about. I'm supposed to say, hi, I'm hanging foul. Stephen knows what that means. But that was given to me years ago when I got picked up by the coppers for leaving the song. Shop forward. I remember my mother walking into the bowling centre and someone said to her, "Hello, Mrs. Hagen." She said, what did they call me that for? I said, I don't know. Anyway, I'll read this notice from Dockers who could not be here tonight. To join the company of legends. Hall of Famers would be, could be, due to one problem, AGE. No Hollywood stars are available, but we have the very best 10-pin stars from Albuquerque, Dana and Steve Mackie. Dana wasn't a very good bowler, she's only bowled 67 rounds and a start. My memory goes back to 1961, Australia in Chicago. Oh, sorry, this is her. She won the women's B-grade singles and doubles in the first Nationals. Then in 1964, representing Australia in Chicago, 2 times later, I went with a teenage star named Steve Mackie. And I believe they bowled at Madison Square Garden. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, she said that was fun. I don't know why you did that funny hour. I had no children, but in 1985, gave birth to the big 150. Which is the longest contested female tournament. The South Pacific only had 37 years. Now this year is the 40th year. Are they having a machine?
Just at the wrong bowling centre.
Oh, right. In mentioning 40 years, I could go one better. Having a long social time, getting Loris and Ron Pitch on June the 1st, which we celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary on the 1st of June. She had 40 years bowling nationals with a team Dockers dollars until they met one called Boyle's Moles. And because Dockers dollars lost, Dockers had to have her very first hair perm, incidentally performed on my life. Broadway was my favourite, except when you had to tell someone how to pick up a tempo. I had one strange experience in 1979. The World FIQ in Manila, Lavinia Pete saw the pins pulling over strangely, and she was sent down the back, and they found the mechanics down the back were pulling the pins over. Now Doreen formed the Under the Table Club, if any of you remember that. I was a member of the finish. Now she was the president. She's now retired. Thank you all. Enjoy the night.
Involved in bowling in your great country of Australia. I really appreciated the opportunity to visit and share the information about our great sport. The memories are something my wife and I cherish and talk about often. We wish to thank all the proprietors, the coaches, the pro shop owners, bowlers and especially your bowling federation. The time with Steve Jones and Warren Stewart and your entire bowling community was so gracious during our time in your great country. We had the opportunity to visit 60 countries coaching our great sport, and I can honestly say our visits to Down Under were the absolute best. We visited most of your wonderful cities. One story I need to share is when we were there for your rocket tournament, which I guess is rock one. So it's the rocket tournament, and we do have the actual Rockway trophy for the ladies right there in the flesh. Had the opportunity to watch Jason Belmonte bowl, the first time seeing a two-hander. My eyes popped when I saw the 12, 13-year-old throw the ball and create more pin action than I've ever witnessed. During our visits, we went to the iconic Opera House in Sydney and went to many great areas. We took a boat across the bay to a great seafood restaurant for lunch, which we really enjoyed. Great people, great food, great bowlers. What else does a person need to say? Look at all the bowlers and leaders your great country has given to our sport. We are so ever thankful to have had the opportunity to meet and learn what a great group of people we have in bowling. God bless, and our thoughts go out to all of you. Have a great evening. Thank you, Coach Fred Borden. And then, of course, we had to get something from the greatest bowler of all time, who's currently competing in the US, Belmonte. G'day to everyone in attendance. I'm sorry I can't be with you this evening, however I would like to extend my gratitude to everyone there. I'm able to do what I love for a living because of those who walked the path prior to me. Those who organised tournaments when I was a teenager, the bowlers who were better than me to motivate me to improve. I had these opportunities and those days allowed me to grow as a player, create lifelong friends and have a bunch of stories to look back on. Bowling in Australia may not be at the heights we all wished it was, but without you in this room and everything you did for bowling, the game would be worse off. So thank you. I hope you enjoy the evening and share some of the stories I may have been lucky to be part of. Much love, Belmo. So well done, Belmo. Now, this one I've just had to put up. So bowling, it's longevity in our sport. And, you know, we have one of the greatest bowlers over at that table. What table was it? Table 8, Jeanette Baker, who has been around, started as a teenager and went on until she was like, I was going to forget. A long time. You know, currently Sue Castle is out there. She started, I think she was the youngest to win a medal at 14, possibly. You can correct me if I'm wrong, at 14 representing Australia, and she's still bowling out there today. Crazy. But a good friend sitting at the table up there, table 10, you can't go past this man. Not only has he been a bowler forever, he's been a world coach, traveled the world coaching. And just flicking through the thousands of photos that I saw, you know, some people came up obviously more often than others. And this fella just kept coming up as well. And I was lucky to have a photograph when I was running Mentone Bowl, and of course we did close Mentone just over 10 years ago, and there were some photographs, and that's the first time I saw when Steve Mackie actually was winning the All-Star, and Rob Zikman was up on the dais, and that was Steve, 1968. 1967. So Steve Mackie wins the All-Star, which was the first major tournament in this country, and the first time won by Eric Jang. But Rob was on the dais, which is the middle photo up the top. Hasn't changed a bit, have you, Rob? And then, just reading through, standing on the dais in the All-Stars in 68, the New South Wales Rockaway team in 67, the SPC dais in 67, finishing third. And then he captained the Australian team to Hong Kong in 88, but then he won the South Pacific in 89, the silver anniversary, 22 years after finishing third in the 67 South Pacific. In 1990 he won the Masters, the Australian Masters, and of course with his, our good friend John Sullivan won gold in the, Rob won the All events and Sully won the Masters, but both Sully and Rob were named bowlers of the tournament, which was incredible. That was in 2013. So I just thought it was, I had to put that up, Rob, because what you've done, mate, you know, you need to be applauded. So well done, mate. And that thing about longevity in our sport, we just keep doing it. And you know, I remember something written by Steve Mackie many years ago, you know, you can do it from cradle to you know what, which I'm not going to mention. Facilities, which I haven't got a photo up, but just listening to people over this last couple of days, especially the Sydney people, the big sporting stadiums they were like the MCG for bowling, you know, Rushcutter, and then we had St Leonard's in Sydney, and the stories that everybody talks about at St Leonard's is ridiculous, and it would have been a great time to have been around bowling. But also in Melbourne we had the Golden Bowl, which was another massive complex. But they were complexes for bowling. You know, it was not as much what it's like now. You know, of course, bowling centres have to have arcade and things like that now, but they were for the sport. And they were great times, and we lived in great times, and our sport was a great sport, still is a great sport, but just different times. St Leonard's for me, and the gentleman's here, he's come all the way, I haven't seen him since 1979. But St Leonard's for me, Steve, as well, for being at St Leonard's, was the Junior Sydney Cup. You know, I went up there a few times, and I always think of St Leonard's with the Junior Sydney Cup. But Peter Manzo is on table 6. He started the Junior Sydney Cup, and was one of the instigators of the Sydney Cup, and he's come all the way from Sydney. And the last time I saw him was in 1979. I see him now in 2000. Well, only 24. Welcome, Pete. Thanks for coming, mate. And then, of course, we had the World Cup in that Rushcutter, that big stadium for bowling, and our reps for the World Cup. And of course, they're here tonight. We have Ian Bradford. Where are you, Ian? Thanks, mate. And also Cheryl Munson. Good on you, Cheryl. And then we kick on to another few minutes and I'll get off, it's okay. But what we have here is pin action. We know Bobby Cook did a magnificent job with pin action. Steve Mackie was also part of the instigation of pin action as well, I think with Andy Mackay. But my first edition of pin action was this one here. I actually have the copy right here. So I've kept it. So 1977 I received this pin action, and of course Eric was on the cover. Eric's over there on table 31, doesn't it? Well done, Eric. Hello, welcome. And the interesting thing, I think this was the Sydney Cup, Australian Open, but he bowled Australia's first 800, and it was an 8-10 series, yeah? And in his last game, he bowled 298 to shoot the 8-10. And the 8 that he shot, it wasn't a 6-10 or a 1-2, it was the 8-10. Steve got it. So Eric leaves an 8-10. It was one of his famous strong balls that hit the bucket. And I left at 8:10. But funny enough, so I've had Eric, I've managed quite a lot of bowling centres, and when I look back now, I probably didn't think much of it at the time, but now looking back and reminiscing a bit, you know, when I was with AMF, you know, I had Ruth Kirst under my wings drilling bowling balls. Then I went to Mentone and Eric was drilling bowling balls there, so when I was the manager. So I look back and I've managed the centres where two of the greatest of Australian bowlers, both one in the male and one in the female, have been in my control. Thank you, Eric. No, that's all right. Don't say anything, you just sit there. The next edition I got was this one here, and it had a great article which I read over and over. I can't remember it now, but it was about Velo, Mackie and Thompson, three of the greatest bowlers of the time back in the 70s. And you know, you could call them the Father, Son and the Holy Ghost, but it's a great article. There's also an interview with Steve, interviews with Eric, interviews with Joe Velo, who's still alive, Joe, I believe, yeah, and also Steve. So great magazine. So give me goosebumps when I look. So next up, again we're talking about pin action. I can't go past the different sponsors that we had in the time. We had S Sportswear, we had Pepper's Restaurant, which was Eric Thompson's restaurant at Northcote Bowl. We had Dougie Bear, the guys went to his 50th last night, Dougie Bear Senior. He, of course, was a magnificent guy, sponsored so many tournaments with trophies, just a great guy. And that was the Bear Factory. And of course, he's not here yet because he's still bowling. But Nick Kubendarkas and Jan Smash Repairs was one of the biggest things I always remember about pin action. So good on you, Nick, if you can hear me. Also through our years of the last 40, 50, 60 years, we had some great tournament organisers and tournament directors. And there's just probably most of them. But up the top we had Ed Fleming on both. You know, that one-off tournament was he was an entrepreneur, and he did only last once, but it was a great tournament, the World Series. David Hamilton, who's on Tempe Memories quite a lot. We have the great Ken Sheehan, Batesy, who's still going strong at Caboolture. Obviously Steve Jones, Mr. Steve Mackie in the corner over there. Gary O'Neill is up there with the goal pin. And of course, how many of us bowled in the goal pin classic? That was always something to want to strive for. We also have Phil Brook in the corner. Who else have we got? Noel McNamara, who has passed unfortunately, and Brian.
John Thompson.
Right, thank you. And Richard Hall. Richard Hall's there too. God. So Richard's not well either, unfortunately, but some great tournament directors. And then we have, and I do apologise for table here. This one is our coaches. So we've had some great coaches. Some are in this room today. The late great Fred Sullivan, Doc Key, Ken Sheen, Steve Arundel, Des Shopping. We've got Cheryl Munson, she's in the building, we know that. Well done, Cheryl. Rob Zikman with Rich Karuba from America. Patrick Burdick up there, drilling his balls, he's still going. That arm, Patrick, I don't know. And then we've got the great Chris Batson. Chris Batson also would have loved to have been here, but just couldn't. Andy Mackay, Kevin Braun, Ern Meyer, which is the gentleman in the far. So he's been in touch with me on a number of occasions in the last few months. He would love to have been here, but he also isn't well. But he just said also to have a great night. Of course, Gail Torrens is here tonight as well, been coaching for a long, long time. A great pick I had to put in there with Rob Zikman, Gary Gilmore, and the great man from WA, David Schmelkoff. And of course, JB with her dad and Eric there, and Dennis Booth to round off the coaches in Australia. And then we also had people from America, mainly America, come over. We had Rich Karuba, Bill Taylor, Andy Anderson with his those thumbholes he used to do, Dave Davis, of course, Fred Borden, but the big one, obviously, the man himself, Dick Ricker. Those schools went forever. Things might have gone past that a little bit now, but you could still teach kids the way he taught, and those kids would still be pretty damn good. So there are international coaches that have come to Australia in our time. And then of course the overseas bowlers thought it's pretty easy over in Australia, we'll come and take their money. And some of them did, some of them didn't. But we had some great bowlers come to our shore. Of course we had Mackie, who is here on the table here. Big round of applause, Dana. 16-time titles on the PWBA tour in every Hall of Fame, and won many titles in Australia. Her brother Mike Miller, who's still going strong with his, now that he's got his hips back to normal. Of course Tim Mack, Peter Knop, beating Robbie Thompson over there. No, he's over here. There we go. I thought he should be over there. Why aren't you over there? And then obviously Donna Adamek, Purvis Granger. And then of course we had the seniors. The seniors came over, and we had Brian Bridges, you're here, Mario Morosi, Eric Thompson, Rob Zikman, John Sullivan, they're all up there. Ray Pergovic, Jimmy Surton from America, John Rixina, thank you. And then of course the big one was, and this was all instigated by Steve Mackie, was the USA versus Australia challenge. And what a great event that was. So that's just a little bit of history of our bowling in the 20th century, and that's what this event's all about. It's the 20th century, not the 21st. We've got great bowlers now, but this is about the great bowlers and proprietors and managers and coaches of the 20th century. So please keep talking amongst yourself. That's it for the moment, and we'll get back to you shortly. But enjoy. Now we do have a guest speaker this evening, and travelled a long way. The Novotel Hotel just up the road, so it wasn't too far. But we couldn't have this evening without asking, you know what I'm talking about, to ask Steve Mackie to come up. But before he does, Jimmy, can you please roll the tape?
To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to fight the unbeatable foe, to reach the unreachable star.
Mr. Steve Mackie, you don't need this. We know you're the great legend and Hall of Famer. Please come up and give Steve Mackie a round of applause. Thank you.
Wow. Look at all these names, these faces, these places we've been. Fantastic. What a night. Warren Stewart. Give him a round of applause. Stand up for him. Stand up for his name. Warren, you're probably one of 2 or 3 people in Australia that could have organised this night. Thank you. And to Cheryl and Leonie, thank you for 10 pin memories, 5,000 plus memories. And Cheryl just told me a few minutes ago, a lot of people from Albuquerque and Rio Rancho, New Mexico currently members of that group, and I know they often comment on it as well. They talk to me on the concourse about it. Well, we went to America 33 years ago. Unbelievable. 33 years. It seems like 33 minutes that I've seen some of you folks, although a couple of you look a little different. So do I. Keon Park staff, thank you for everything you've done the last couple of days, and thank you for the Senior Australian Open in honour of John Sullivan, one of the best bowlers this country's ever produced. How lucky all of us were to live in this era of bowling in the 20th century. How lucky. I mean, unbelievably blessed to have been able to bowl in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the 00s, 10s, and now even the 20s for some of us. Hands up if you still bowl league here in Melbourne or anywhere where you live. That's a lot more than half. And we've got a few folks over here that should be in the league, but probably no one's ever asked you. That's a lost art these days, except in some of the aggressive bowling centres. We're still after the business. League bowling will never die. If it does, the sport won't be around too much longer. I'm a proprietor of a regular bowling centre. We've got some old pinball machines and a couple of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle things. We don't have any of the whiz-bang things going on. We are a sport and league tournament centre at our place, and that's only 7 days a week. And last year, just I'll Gary O'Neill, last year, 12.8% of our total lineage of more than 200,000 games were out of tournaments. And we've got 790 league bowls in a 24-weight house. It was 1,100 before they banned smoking, and opened a casino bowling centre about 9 miles from us. But and they were allowed, for some reason or other, to continue letting bowlers smoke behind the lane, so that hurt a little bit. But revenue is good, we're doing well, and we flew business class out here, so we must be doing all right. If you've been on an aeroplane lately, you know how expensive they are. The photo montage, all the stuff that has been here tonight, all the photos of the bowling centre, Patrick Burdick, thank you. Good to have you together. Tim and Graham and a couple of others put together that Australian bowling history. That was after the game had been here 28 years, and that was over 30 years ago. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Great job. I'd like to give us some hope and encouragement here. We all need that. And we've had a lot of people that have passed. We've had a lot of people like Eric Jane that we know of that's struggling with his health. A lot of folks have gone through things. I noticed here people limping and walking on all sorts of crutches and other things, and elbows, arms, shoulders, backs. It's unbelievable how old we get. My sister told me, and I'll be seeing her next week, she turns 80 in a couple of months, getting old is no place for sissies, and that's an American saying as well as Australian. It's a lifetime sport, cradle to grave, and some of you folks that don't bowl league, you need to get signed up. Start a singles league somewhere, 4-game set, 6-game set, do something, stay active. I went to the gymnasium with my wife this morning downstairs. She dragged me down kicking and screaming. My wife's one of the fittest people I know. Having said that, we went through COVID like everyone else. We were closed for 11 and a half months, lost over $1 million in revenue. And my wife had cancer. I've had cancer. I'm clear, she's clear. We went through a closure. We went through COVID and all the nonsense that went along with that. particularly in our left-wing Liberal state. And we're here. We're still here. We're going to be here. We're going to be here for quite a while. We had a bloke at our centre used to come in twice a week, 99 years old. Who's 99 in this room? We're getting there. We're getting there. Nick Kumandarkas, you're close. Nick, what are you at? 92. Nick, one of the gentlemen of the sport of bowling in Australia. We love you, Nick. Thanks for sponsoring all those years. I think you were still bowling and had your picture up on the screen. Someone was throwing some darts at us. We love you anyway. A 99-year-old. If they can bowl, so can we. We run fundraisers at our place. We had a bowl-a-thon for Special Olympics. I'm not quite sure what you call them. Disabilities bowling over here or something or other. We've raised $1,100,000 in 12 years for our next event coming up in June. In a 24-lane centre, we run 3 squads on a Saturday. We feed over 400 people. They come in wheelchairs. Some of them have to wear helmets. We've got the ramps on all the lanes, bumpers and the dinosaurs there. And they have a wonderful time. And a couple of years ago, they ran a raffle. It was $1,000 a ticket. And second prize in that was a trip to Marseille, France. A strange place to win a ticket to. But anyway, long story short, Dana's other brother, not the bowler, Mark, was living in Montpellier, France, which is not far west of Marseille. And second prize in this 37 prize raffle was that trip to France. We ended up winning that trip. Is God good or what? Really. But we've raised over $1 million. And that's probably a record for any bowling centre of any size on planet Earth. I've never heard of anything like it. So bowling's good for many reasons. Bowling's good for fundraising, it's good for sport, it's good for activity, it's good for health. And I remember talking about good for health. Hands up in the room if you bowl that 92-game Philippine Airlines tournament at Bankstown. Is there any of us left? Ron, Rob, that's it, and me, and you, and the mouth. We bowled 92 games in 4 days. Now, on the American Pro Tour, they bowl 6 and 8 game sets, and they're exhausted. Wimps. 92 games. I think a couple of us were the only. No one wanted to be the first person to drop out. Eddie Austin staggered to the line, and he bowled pretty quick too. I've learned a few Spanish words living in New Mexico. It's a highly Hispanic state. We've had a lot of border crossings there, as you know, and I know some words. Tamales, taquitos, Spanish rice. That's about it. Bowling's been really good to me. I've been to 31 countries. I've never paid for a trip yet, other than this one. 31 countries. I supervised over 130 centres in my management career with AMF and others since 1989. I ended up with 71 centres in 11 countries. I started with 5 in New South Wales North region, which was Rushcutter, Hornsby, Balgowlah, Bennetts Green and Mayfield. Well, they're closed now. I think they're all closed. And, 70, and I've travelled 4 million miles. Is there anyone in this room that's travelled 4 million miles? All for free. Steve Lovell. In your dreams, mate. 4 million miles. And a lot of you have been Australian representatives. You've travelled as well. It's a big world out there, but it's a small world in the bowling community. We are a family, and that's why we're all here tonight. It's just wonderful to see you all. 71 centres, 11 countries, responsible for about $86 million in revenue, and then when AMF sold their overseas centres, I didn't have a job anymore. So what are we going to do? I wandered around. I did a job interview with New York Life Insurance, not for me. So, in fact, who needs a super policy? But I ended up buying this bowling centre. The last thing Dana wanted was for me to buy a bowling centre. It was a dog with a bad name. It had torn up carpet, over down the back, climbing up and down off pin centres more than I was up the front in the first couple of years. But it's been a great business for us. This is a great industry. I encourage you to continue to push the sport, go out there with hope, with a life, quit whining about things. That's, in fact, in Australia I probably should say whinging about things. In America we're whiners. And just get out and start some leagues somewhere. Start a travel league or something like that. I think the inter-district's still going. Is it in Sydney? Anyone know? Still going? Oh, Nick would know. He's the oldest man in the room. Get out and do something for the sport. Just like Warren is down here at Keon Park. We're so pleased, Warren, that your company was able to buy Keon Park before it hit the wrecking ball, and got the USBC, TBA here, and keep on pushing the game. Get it back on television. Got to get it back on TV. I've been watching the AFL opening night and last night, and Channel 7's got all these sports. It says 7 for Sport, one of the stations we're seeing at the hotel. It's got every sport mentioned. They've got women's rugby union on this afternoon. Goodness, we've got to be able to get bowling back on TV here. Yeah, I'm 75 next month, but if I was 55, I'd be back here in a New York minute. Look, it's great to see you all here tonight. You're all wonderful people. You're a family. We stand up for each other, and we've got a great history amongst us. Thanks for being here tonight, and thank you for inviting us.
Before you get down back to your table, I mean, you listen to Steve all night, couldn't you? Probably all day. It's just unbelievable. We do have a couple of gifts for him. We do have a book we've made, the inimitable Steve Christopher Mackie. It's basically, this is your life. And it goes through Steve's early days, so when it's bowled, and through pages of when he was went to America. He represented obviously Victoria, New South Wales. But maybe people can have a look at the book before they leave tonight. But some photographs when he was with Dick Webber. Right again, Rob Zikman sticking his head in there again.
Is it in black and white?
Can Steve's presentation go?
What am I doing?
Playing Steve.
Just hang on a second. Have a read. Sorry, man.
I'm just going to flick one of those.
Steve, when are we getting bowling on?
So this is what's in the actual booklet, guys, just so you know. It was just something we put together just because of the travel that Steve does, what he's done to our sport. But again, these are just in the pages of the book. So that was winning the All-Stars. So we'll just quickly flick through those. But there's young Steve with the famous Dick Webber. So Steve was the first Australian to bowl 300 outside of Australia. In Memoriam, called him a champion. There's the one with Rob up the back, top right-hand corner there. New South Wales Rockway. Steve is a competitor. Receiving his winnings there. Of course, he was part of pin action for many years and the bowler of the 80s. Was one of the instigators of the Australian Bowlers Riders Association. And we all know what pin action did for our sport. Of course, we've got other people here that have also helped. Ava Lustig is in the room. Also, Brendan there wrote articles for that magazine. Again, just more things on Steve. It's all about Steve. There's the book, Australian book. That's when Steve was with AMF. Greg Isaacs there. Ian Bradford at the World Cup and Cheryl Munson. Looks like Ern Meyer there as well with Steve. So just a lot of the history that Steve has been involved with in Australia. There's the World Cup sitting there with Chris Batson and Sol. And of course Steve, we love him on the microphone, and of course he's a magnificent centre there in New Mexico. And what people have said, Steve had the attributes, the qualities, the experience and the ambitions from Roy Wesley, great AMF CEO. Mackie, AMF Promotions Manager, has long dreamed of bringing a team of pro bowlers to Australia, and this exciting venture must be the highlight of his entrepreneurial. It's been a long week, Steve. So, activities with AMF. And once again, Steve has proved himself to be the most able asset that the sport of tennis bowling has in Australia. That was from Bob Cook. So, we had competitors or managers that passed away in competition, which is unheard of. Never happened before. And it was appropriate, I feel, and I did get the okay from the Jewish community to make sure that we're not disrespecting, but we are respecting them as much as we can. The people that, in 1997, I was fortunate enough, normally Rob or Chris Batson would coach the Maccabee Games or the McCarthy team. I was fortunate to coach them in 97. And I went up for a coaching session in Sydney, and I stayed with a couple, Frank, and there was Yeti Bennett. She was the manager of the team. Anyway, we're headed to Israel and Jerusalem. It was a great trip, saw a lot of the old city, but tragedy struck, and it was worldwide news. And there was the bridge collapse, and we lost a couple of our competitors, and one was the manager, Yeti Bennett, and one of the best bowlers in the team, and on the national tour as well was Greg Small. I actually was in the bus with Greg, driving to the opening, and he had in his hand a crayon pictures from his kids saying, good luck daddy, and this, and it was unbelievable, and I could have been with him. And a lot, but I would like, if you could, Ava, just light the flame, and I'd like the flame to last for the rest of the evening, just in respect to those Greg Small and Yeti Bennett who did pass away in Israel in the competition of the Maccabee Games, which is it's like the Jewish Olympic Games, if you didn't know. Thank you, Ava.
Thank you.
That's it, pretty good. And now we're just running to the In Memoriam slideshow, guys. Thank you.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find beyond the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I?
Solo e sogno all'orizzonte, mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, su le finestre, mostra a tutti il mio cuore che hai acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Con te partirò, paesi che non ho mai veduto e vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so, non esistono più. Con te io li vivrò. Quando sei lontana sogno all'orizzonte, mancano le parole. E io sì lo so che sei con me, con me. Tu mia luna, tu sei qui con me. Mio sole, tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Paesi che non ho mai veduto e vissuto con te. Adesso sì li vivrò con te. Partirò su navi per mari che io lo so, non esistono più. Con te io li rivivrò, con te partirò su navi per mari che io lo so, non esistono più. Con te io li rivivrò, con te partirò.
Okay, thank you. Look, I just apologise. The music would have been magnificent. Sort of getting disco music from next door, but just so many people we've lost, and that's more about just respecting them and thinking of them. And it's life, isn't it? We and enjoy each other's company as we go move forward. Next on the agenda, I'd just like to acknowledge some people in the room. We have a number of Hall of Famers, in fact quite a lot of Hall of Famers in the room. If I could just ask the Hall of Famers when I mention their name to please stand up. Excuse me. We're all out of whack, but that's okay. It's been like it all night, so we'll keep going. And of course we have World Cup champions, Jeanette Baker. If Jeanette can please stand up. And keep standing. Of course, Jeanette is the first person ever been back-to-back World Cups. An incredible effort, especially what you had to do to get to be representing Australia, win the South Pacific, one of the most arduous bowling tournaments that you could bowl, and Jeanette had to win that twice, and she went on to win the World Cup twice. The 1983 World Cup trophy is on that bench up the back there. Also the South Pacific Classic trophy, the actual real life ones are there, amazing. If I can say also the Melbourne Cup is to the right there, or to my right. We also have obviously the Rockway trophy, and we have also the 1979 from Manila Asian FIQ, Eric Thompson's all events title, gold medal title. Yes, Eric, you can stand up as well. We also had some great bowlers in the 90s. Was Mackie, Noble, Amanda Bradley, and of course the great Cara Honeychurch, who's in the Hall of Fame, not just for bowling but for all sports. You know, she's in there with Rod Laver and John Newcomb and those type of Sir Donald Bradman. So there's our Hall of Fame. So also, please keep standing. And later on, if I could ask the Hall of Famers to head over to that, not yet of course, but later to the media wall, and Kathy will take a photo of the whole of the all of the Hall of Famers. That'd be a great shot, I think. But we have Ron Powell, who we've heard from today. So Ronnie. Of course, Eric, Jeanette, Steve, if you could please stand, mate. Cheryl Munson, Bradford, Barb Richmond, Lovell, Gianotti, fantastic. But if I could ask you eventually, not right now, like I said, we'll get some photos of all the Hall of Famers. You may sit down, thank you. But for all your services and efforts, thank you very much. We applaud you as we just did. But also we head to the Commonwealth, not the Commonwealth, but the Olympics. It's Carol Gianotti again was our representative over there in Seoul, Korea, and I happened to tag along with her. It was amazing to watch her bowl, just incredible. But Carol, thank you for representing Australia in the Olympic Games for bowling. And of course, the pinnacle of any sport is to head over to the States, and there's two of our great lady bowlers that did, and well done. I mean, Cara won 8 titles, and then the Pro Tour stopped. But Cara went over. Her first Pro Tournament was a major, the Queen's, and that's Cara getting crowned the Queen in that year, and won 16 Pro titles, which is just amazing. Of course, we ventured over to Kuala Lumpur, and Frank Ryan is sitting over there. Frank, if you could please stand up. And we had the team with Frank Ryan and Carol Honeychurch winning the mixed doubles, the gold. We also had Maxine Noble in the team, and Michael Buell, who is bowling this weekend in the Australian Open. And of course we have our coach there and our manager there, Lorraine McLaughlin and Cheryl Munson. You're all in the room, it's fantastic. So congratulations, it was an awesome display of bowling by all the Commonwealth Games crew. And Frank would be able to tell you, but for the trivia buffs, the 500th gold medal ever in the Commonwealth Games happened to be the mixed doubles, which was Frank and Cara, so he goes down in infamy, Frank. Also one of our great bowlers of our generation, so Frank Ryan, well done, mate. Okay, that's about it. Now,
Warren. I just like to say to junction with that Commonwealth Games,
not hear me? Okay. In the 1998 Commonwealth Games, the first gold medal for Australia was won by Tim Bolt.
We got above our weight, I think, in bowling. We've had some great bowlers, as you know. All with your it's not just the Hall of Famers. You know, everyone in this room, you've represented your states, your territories. You know, you've won major tournaments, you've won state tournaments, you've done a lot. Everyone in this room and bowlers that are bowling out there this weekend. So, you know, you're all pretty good. Now, just a couple of presentations, if I could. Excuse me. I have something for Sharon Bertie. If Sharon could just come up.
Sharon who?
Did I what I say? It's been a while. Have I got a sub? Can I call a sub in or something? Just a little something. Sharon has helped quite a lot with our presentations. I could ask Mackie to come up as well. Again, thank you for coming on this program. I hope that I can come up and come down. But also, Cheryl Munson and Leone Starr. Like I said earlier, if it wasn't for taking memories, then I don't think we'd be here. Thank you. Oh, good on you. Well done. And also Patrick Burdick, who was a big help with the slideshow again. So coming up. Come on, mate.
It's a bowling pin.
Thank you. All right. If I could ask the TBA CEO, Mr. Ron O'Neill, to come up just to help us with some presentations from the bowling. We did actually do some bowling yesterday. And what have we got here? We have the trio. So we'll start with third place, the bronze. Alrighty, let's have a look. In the trios, we have the bronze. Goes to the team of, with a score of 1667, Sean Goff, Terry Silver, and Wayne Cordwell.
Terry's as well.
Come on, Wayne. No. You won't sit. Yeah. Okay. Put the hand in his rock. That's okay. Our runner-ups with a score of 1696, we had the team of Julie Harrison, Karen Kamane, and Lee Booth. And the first place in the trios, Bowlers Reunion 2024, the team of Chris Benson, Steve Floyd, and Janine Matheson. Two of the team are here tonight.
I carried them.
in the singles. The ladies in third. Unbelievable. Hasn't bowled for 22 years. How does that work? Picked up a house ball. Did we have thumbs up? No, we didn't have thumbs. So with a score of 565, Cheryl Morris. Or West, excuse me, Cheryl Morris. Cheryl Morris. Our runner-up with a 567, just 2 pins ahead. Heather Robertson. And our winner of the Bowlers Reunion 2024 singles with a 574, Lee Boo. And I don't think any of them are here, but I'll read through them. In the men's, with third place on a 606 was Jim back of the bus, back of the sides. Our runner-up on 623 was Brett Smith, and our winner of Bowlers Reunion 2024 singles 627, Andrew Lloyd. He deserved it, but that's entree hasn't come out. Entree's come out. Sorry, dessert on that. Dessert hasn't come out. And then get the tables cleared.
It's coming.
Can we maybe get the tables cleared, Alex? Is that something happens? This event, as I said earlier, we had a number of sponsors that helped out to get things happening, and we have a couple of the sponsors here tonight, and I'd like to present them with just some recognition from us and a thank you for supporting Bowlers Reunion 2024. So it all looks like that, but basically it says presented to, and I'll ask Gary O'Neill to come up, from Cubic AMF in appreciation for your support of Bowlers Reunion 2024 held at Mid City John Park Bowl on the 15th and 16th of March 2024 to celebrate Australian 10-pin bowling history. On behalf of all participants of BR24 and Australian 10-pin bowling, thank you. Thank you.
Customer not speaking, but we just have, who's laughing over there, we have something for Warren Stewart. On behalf of everybody that works in the industry, and as we like to organise events, this is a major event. So on behalf of us that work in the industry, a champagne for Warren Stewart.